Hello there YouTube, what is going on now? It's me, Gabriel Nail here, founder of Weather Buddies Forecasting Central. If you guys happen to have a really good day, I'm glad to hear that. This is going to be a winter preliminary forecast. It's going to be one of the four, if I can open that many during this time. There'll be three of them, a total of three of them, but this is going to be a winter weather forecast for this upcoming winter, 2023 to 2024. If you guys love this weather-related content, please subscribe to the channel, share the video with family and friends, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to ring the bell notification icon for the latest. Alright, let's get started with the video. Alrighty, here we are, preliminary winter weather forecast for 2023-2024, part 104. Here we go. Alright, so we're going to talk about El Nino first, just to give you guys an idea of what's going on. Okay, this is what's going on in the ocean right now. It's a massive area of warm water, and of course, if you look closer to the South American coast, you can kind of see it almost 3 degrees above average. 3 degrees above average is pretty warm. You know, so this, I'm not saying this is a Godzilla El Nino, but it definitely is one of the stronger El Ninos. And if you guys are wondering, you see this little thing of blue water kind of off the coast of California and parts of Hawaii. Well, anyways, I'm just going to quickly explain that, and then these other two areas up here, and then we'll move on. This is considered the Pacific Meridional mode, which is in a negative phase right now. Meaning that this river of blue water you're seeing right here is the Pacific Meridional mode, and it's in its negative phase. If it were in its positive phase, it would be red. There'd be a lot of red right there. So, this is partly what's been affecting the southern branch of the jet stream. It's been kind of pushing the southern branch a little far to the north and kind of causing it to actually fall apart right about here. And you don't really have much support for southern branch. Though, throughout the winter, I do realize that throughout the winter, the Pacific Meridional mode, or the PMM, does have a tendency to bring stronger winters to the southwest of the United States and parts of the western half of the United States. We're going to find out and see what happens, see if that plans out. Just north of that is the PNA, and over here is the NAO. The NAO and the PNA are both positive, it looks like, so at this time, which is kind of very, very rare, but they both look like they're in a positive state, so yes. Alright, we'll move on to the next slide here. Alright, so this is an El Nino forecast. I have another one after this one coming up. Slightly different forecast, but it's not as hyped as this one is. As for July, August, and September, 100% chance of an El Nino. Of course, because we just went through that. But, where are the winter months? Here they are. They're expecting about a 98% chance of an El Nino still being there. From there, it starts to tail off, as you can tell. So, yeah. So during the winter months, especially December, January, and February, it's still expected to be really high. The next model, however, let me just explain something to you guys real quick. This little thing that you're seeing up here, blue means La Nina. So if these were blue, that would be La Nina. But we don't have blue right now, we have red. While these gray ones are actually neutral, so yes. Okay. And the next model I'm about to show you is very similar to this. So, generally the bars, this is going to be a slightly different color scheme, and the forecast is going to be slightly different too. Here it is. Alright, remember red bars mean El Nino, gray bars mean La Nina, or not La Nina, gray bars mean neutral, and the blue bars mean La Nina. As for this forecast, it is expected to come down just a little bit in December, January, and February, but it's still up there pretty high. As for the next 3 months, well, actually, that's not the 3 months there, it's one over. So the next 3 months, expect to stay about 97-98% chance of an El Nino. Then again, it really starts to tail off right there. And even if it still tails off, there's still significant chances of having El Nino going into next summer. It may not stay, though. Have to see. You need to keep an eye on that. Okay. Well, this right here is an El Nino watch. I wrote this up myself, and I mostly got the idea from the recent evolution from the NWS, and I'm going to read it to you guys here. It says here, so my forecast to this El Nino is expected to be greater than 95% heading into the winter months. However, it is expected to peak in November and then start to dwindle and cool down by March of next year. This will have a major impact on how our winter weather would be like. Alright, so let's move on. Alright guys, so this next thing I'm about to show you, it's not that complicated once you get to know it. I'll help step by step, okay? So South America is over here, okay? This is the surface. This whole area is the surface of the ocean, Pacific Ocean. And Australia is over here. So the further this way you go, the further west you go. The further this way you go, the further east you go. Okay, now let me explain to you how this works. So you know how, like, along the equator of the ocean, along the equator of the Pacific Ocean, okay, this is where you're looking down in the equator. You're looking down into the ocean. And the areas that we want to most pay attention to is this area, right about there. Okay, that's I like to call it like the kind of like the forecasting zone for these water temperatures. What's going on? What is going on up here is already happening. So, like I showed you in that one slide with the El Nino, okay? But we gotta focus down here. And have you noticed, it's been between 50 and 150 meters into the ocean. Reason is because this area right here, okay, is a spot where the water will either upwell or go back to the west. As of right now, it looks like it's gonna upwell and hit towards the east. Okay, so. And as it does, it will start to strengthen and it'll start to, get darker over here, closer to the South American coast. Okay, hopefully that was explanatory. But and again, if you need to research how these things work, just go and look them up on the NWS website or the NOAA's website. They'll tell you many stuff there, how these models work and stuff. Okay, or these products. All right. This is the Southern Oscillation Index. This is also another thing I can explain to you guys. Don't pay attention to this dotted yellow line. Pay attention to this red color line. Okay. Okay. See how? Okay. So see, I kind of drew right on top of the statistics here, but look at this right here. You see? I'm gonna circle that. See that little tag right there? The red is a 30-day average. The yellow is the 90-day average. The more important one is the red. The reason is because it fluctuates a lot more than the 90-day. And it's also the 90 days a little bit more delayed. So as you can tell right here, it's a negative 11.36. Alright. And that's millibars, by the way. So it's a negative 11.36 millibars. What that means is we're in El Nino conditions right now as we speak. Alright, see this 7 over here, -7, that would be, -7 would be El Nino. If, in between -7 and +7 would be neutral. +7 and above for 30 days would be La Nina. Hopefully that makes sense. So right now we are in El Nino territory. Again, I'll probably share a link to this too, to show you guys how this works. Okay. We're moving on to the forecast. Again, very El Nino characteristic, like warm across the northern half of the U.S. Well, either equal chances or cool across the southern half of the U.S. In my forecast, I'm calling for pretty much this whole area to be below average. Also, that's kind of similar to what my snow forecast is calling for too. Alright, so yeah. Okay, moving on to seasonal precipitation outlook. Once again, very El Nino characteristic. Wet to the south, dry to the north. Yeah. Alright. We're moving on to the next model. And this is the CFSV2. It's pretty much showing the same thing. Wetter to the south, neutral conditions to the north, so it's not really isn't much going on up there as of right now. But I did notice there are a couple little dry spots, and I think they're gonna take those out as we get closer to this time frame. But yeah. So again, that's pretty much an El Nino characteristic, of course. So yeah. Alright, now we're gonna move on to temperature. Now, I'm gonna tell you really quick, the CFS always has the temperature really warm. So I'm gonna show you where I think the cooler temperatures will be on this next model. Okay, alright, let's go. Okay, here we are. This is the CFS V2 2-meter temperature anomalies. For this area, there are going to be Arctic shots, so they are way off on the fact that they're calling for above average conditions there. They pretty much are they're spot on in the northwest, but in this area where this huge thing of warmness is at, I don't think that's going to happen. Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, and South Dakota. I don't think you guys are going to get completely hot there. So you guys will probably have, it'll probably be slightly above average, but you will have Arctic intrusions coming down. Not intrusions, but Arctic shots. So, because there will be a high pressure system in this area, so, and because of that, it'll be going this way. It'll be spinning clockwise. So, if we're going to have a high pressure system over the northwest, then again, that's usually characteristic of El Nino. Then there would be cooler air coming through this area. So that's why I don't really fully agree with this this model and map. All right, here we go. My forecast. All right, see again. Cooler. I'm probably gonna move that a little bit further to the west, but generally right there. Okay, so for most of the Midwest. It's gonna be below average, of course. A lot of this below average we're seeing in the Midwest, though, is probably gonna be it's gonna have some Arctic shots to it. There will be probably some occasional Arctic shots in the Dakotas, probably very far northeastern Montana. But other than that, it's gonna generally stay over the Midwest. Those Arctic intrusions. Okay. Also, a lot of the below average is gonna stay further to the south too, like as I was pointing to you guys out earlier ago. My snowfall forecast is going to call for similar. So, generally, a lot of the south, mostly below average. Again, very El Nino characteristic like. Okay. Next map, here we go. So this is precipitation. Again, wetter to the south and drier to most of the north. I'm expecting this to probably move back west a little bit. But as of right now, according to the models and what forecasts are calling for, this is generally going to stay right where it is for right now. So, and obviously in between, the states in between, like Kansas, Missouri, those states in between, including Ohio and Indiana and Illinois, those states in between are just neutral conditions. So if you think I'm leaving those states out, don't worry, I am not leaving them out. There's just no shading in those states. Okay. Alright, moving on to my snowfall forecast. So you're probably asking yourself, like, wait, what? Snowfall in Texas? Yeah, it's possible this year. Because, again, it's an El Nino. We're going to have a big, huge subtropical branch of the jet stream coming up like this, meeting up with the northern branch that comes down like that. And when they meet up, they'll cause nor'easters in the mid-Atlantic and interior New England. While there's also a slight above average in parts of the desert southwest as well in California. Most of it is in California. It will be in the mountains of California, though, unfortunately. But yeah. Okay, and now my overall forecast. I'll try to make this as simple as possible. Okay, guys. I tried to upload a video prior to this, and I made a huge mistake. But I'll break it down region by region. I won't be breaking it down state by state because it'll take up too much time. But I'll be. So here it is. Here's my overall forecast. We're going to start from the west and move east. Okay. So for the northwest, warm and dry, of course. No precipitations back there because of El Nino. For the Intermountain West, mild and wet. So it's going to be it's not going to be too cold, not going to be too hot. It's going to be mild and wet. For the southwest and parts of California and Nevada, you expect to see above average snowfall. Mostly will be in the mountains. There probably will be some of the valleys too. In the Rockies, typical snows, Arctic shots that I was telling you guys about earlier in the upper Great Plains and Midwest, the western half of the Midwest. Cold and snowy between the winter battle zone and Arctic shots. So you guys are going to be cold and snowy from Kansas to Missouri, southern tip of Illinois, and also part of Indiana. Okay, winter battle zone where you're going to get snow, sleet, rain. Pretty much everything you can think in between. Okay, just south of the winter battle zone, in the mid-south and parts of the southeast, cool and stormy. Going up the mid-Atlantic, nor'easters. Into the New England states, also nor'easters. As we get into Maine, though, this is cool. This is going to be cool and average. And in Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky, parts of New York, you guys will be in the snowy conditions. Alright? I hope you guys like this forecast. I hope I did well for y'all. I hope I was able to explain everything that you guys needed to know what was explained about. But if you guys, like I said, if you guys like this weather content, again, this is my last line. If you guys like this weather-related content, please share the video with family and friends. Give the video a thumbs up, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell notification for the latest. I'll leave the link in the description for some of those things, those sources that you guys can look up for yourselves. All right, we'll talk to you later.